Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great Monday evening, and I want to welcome everybody to this business briefing. We certainly welcome our guests, and you can put in the chat where you're zooming in from. We would love to see that. And you're going to hear some great information tonight, whether you are checking out the memberships or you're checking out this awesome opportunity. My name is Tammy Martin, and I am zooming in from Louisiana. And just to tell you a little bit about me, I came from Mary Kay. I was the senior sales director for them for 14 years, and then life happened, and I found Legal Shield, and I absolutely love this opportunity for so many reasons. We get lifetime residuals, and that we have a very lucrative compensation plan, which you're going to hear more about this evening. But I want to tell you a little bit about our amazing host, Mr. Jim Tanner. He's been in this business for 2 decades. He's going to tell you a little bit about his story, but before Legal Shield, he was moving furniture. So anybody can do this business. It doesn't matter what your background, where you came from, how much education you have. This business is cut out for anybody that really wants to explore that avenue. He helps people all across the United States, whether that is building their business or offering them the memberships and educating them on how these amazing memberships can protect their families. And so it is just, I mean, he's just an amazing person. And he's also the author of a book called On Purpose, which tells his whole life story, where he came from in his journey through Legal Shield. So I know that you're going to enjoy hearing him tonight, and you're going to be able to be introduced to a lot of our leaders and hear some of their stories. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Jim Tanner.
Tammy, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. Welcome, everybody. I'm just so excited to be here. I am going to share a little bit of my story as I go, but I'm going to go quickly because I want to share with you the information that I saw for the first time almost 20 years ago. Over 19 years ago, I saw what I'm about to share with you. And actually, the flagship products that we represent here in this company, I saw 10 years prior to that. I'll share a little of that story with you as well. And I see that in the chat, folks are joining us from really across the nation. I'm zooming in today from my home in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts. I'm originally from a little town called Rutland, Vermont. I'm a New England boy, born and bred. I live in these suburbs of Boston now, about 18 minutes west of Fenway Park for the baseball fans here. And what we're going to talk about today is opportunity in business, because the world has forever changed. So I'm going to really direct my comments today at those of you that are here as guests, because somebody thought enough of you to invite you to this. And I predict that before I'm done talking, you are going to be very excited that they invited you. You're going to be appreciative and thankful, because that's the way I felt when I saw this information. That's the way so many people have felt. But right now, let's acknowledge first, as we go forward here in the next few minutes, that we're in a revolution. And, you know, there was a time when people wanted to work from home, right? I remember thinking, I want to be my own boss. I would love to work from home, call my own shots, be in charge of my schedule. But as the world has changed and as technology has changed, really, it isn't even a matter of working from home. It's working from anywhere. We have a revolution that's been happening. I'm going to show you how our company allows you to really wrap your life around a business. And so what do people want more than anything now? They want the opportunity to have time and flexibility, to be independent of a boss, not to be micromanaged. They want to be able to build a business, call their own shots, be the boss. But they also want an income opportunity. And I'm going to share with you a few thoughts as I go. But I just want to start by saying this. When I got started in this business, as Tammy said, I was delivering furniture during the day. I actually had a full-time job delivering furniture during the day. And I worked part-time at the mall in a retail store at night. And between those two jobs and commuting, it was 80 hours a week. Now, I couldn't get ahead, even though I was working all the time. I mean, I never had any personal time. I really had to say no to everything. Some of you, you know what that feels like. You've been there. And I was routinely, even working that hard, I was routinely choosing between gas for my car and food. And I said, there's got to be a better way. And when I joined this company, I learned that the reason I was so frustrated, the reason that I couldn't get ahead was because of this one form of income that I was used to earning called linear income. I was trading time for money. And there's nothing wrong with linear income, but it does have limitations, and it's worth acknowledging those limitations. Like in my case, I just flat out was out of hours that I could give. So I couldn't give any more hours to trade for money. And sometimes I did have more hours. I was willing to work more, but somebody with more seniority that had been there longer, or they just frankly, the boss liked better, would get those hours instead. But then I started to understand when I came to this business that in addition to linear income, the one that most of us are taught from birth. Now, some people, they earn linear income and they earn a great income and they can pay all their bills and they don't choose between gas for their car and food for their stomach. But they don't have these other significant ways of building wealth. The second one, of course, is leveraged income, where you can work collaboratively and cooperatively with other professionals. You can build a team and you can have the income potential that comes from leverage. And with leverage, what happens is you start to escape this paradigm where you're always trading your time for money, because what you do doesn't necessarily have to be affected by how much time that you put into something. And then, of course, residual income. And while I didn't understand residual income when I first got started in this business, I just want to be honest with you. I heard the people talk about residual income. It would just went one ear and out the other. But here's what I learned on my journey. 95% of the US population earns 0 forms of residual income. Residual income, by the way, the 5% that do earn it, just so you know what it is so that we have a shared vocabulary, it's like when you act in a movie and you get royalties ongoing from that movie, or you write a book and you get the royalties from writing a book. Maybe you invent something, you have a patent and you license that patent. In other words, you do something one time and you get paid again and again and again and again, residual income for something you did one time. And leveraged income and residual income are major components of wealth building. And if you are here today because you're keeping your options open, you're looking at what can I do? So maybe you're evaluating where you're going to, what are you going to do next? Maybe you're going to start a business. Maybe you're going to take on a second role. Maybe you're going to change careers. I do know this, that whatever you're going to do, you have to look at these 5 areas. You have to make sure that these 5 things are in place. Number one, you got to have a company that's reputable, that stood the test of time. The truth is that there's something exciting about a startup. There's something really exciting about a ground floor opportunity. But I caution you, because most startups never actually start up and most ground floor opportunities never get off the ground. So you got to have a company that's rock solid. There has to be a need in the marketplace for what that company does. Like, what is the problem that company is solving? What is the question that it's answering? The product has to make sense. It has to be priced so that it can be a solution for the consumer, for the entity that has the problem. You have to have compensation that makes sense. The compensation has to address the work, the skill acquisition, the attention that you're going to give to that business. And you also have to have the right timing, because you can be too early and you can be too late, even if it's a good idea. And the T in timing is far more important than the T in talent. I learned that because when I came to this company that I'm sharing with you today, I had no sales background. People think you have to have a great sales background. I had no contacts. I didn't know the right influential people. I didn't have a college education. I never owned a business before. But because I got involved in a company whose time had come, I was able to position myself for the future. And this is our founder, Harlan Stonecipher. I just want to share with you Harlan's story briefly. Now, you see a picture of Harlan. He's no longer with us. This is also a picture of a car accident that happened in 1972, where Mr. Stonecipher was traveling down a highway and he was hit and nearly killed by somebody that ran through an intersection and hit him in his car. And the reason that story is how our company was born is this right here. As Mr. Stonecipher wrote in his autobiography, he was actually not at fault. The Highway Patrol wrote tickets exclusively for the other party, and she sued Mr. Stonecipher anyway. So he was laying in bed, and he actually in a hospital bed. He had his savings, his life savings for his family drained, defending a lawsuit, frivolous, for something that was not his fault. And he was a smart man. He was a school teacher during the day. He sold life insurance as a part-time career to make ends meet in rural Oklahoma. And he said to himself, as he wrote in his book, he said, you know, I had health insurance for the time I was in the hospital. I had car insurance to get a new car. I even had life insurance had I not survived the crash. But I had nothing in place to protect myself and my family for the catastrophic events of when someone sues you. And so Mr. Stonecipher went looking for that solution, thinking he had just simply missed it in the marketplace. And when he realized that it didn't exist in the United States of America, he did what so few people would do. He decided to make a change. He decided to change the world. And from his kitchen table, a business that started from this car accident, on his kitchen table, he launched this business. Now, you may have never heard of PPLSI before. You may have never seen that $30 million campus that's pictured on the screen in front of you. But this is a business that's been in business since 1972. Harlan Stonecipher brought this company to the American Stock Exchange, then the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, and then finally through a private equity acquisition by MidOcean Partners for $650 million to take us private. And our equity partners today now value us as a $2 billion company, a company that started from Harlan Stonecipher's vision to provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that he felt that every human deserved. And that we continue to carry that torch today as we realize this mission. Now, again, you may have never heard of us before, but we've been written up in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, CNBC, Bloomberg. As a matter of fact, USA Today said, it sounds like healthcare before it became $1 trillion industry. So what is this thing that we do? What started with Harlan Stonecipher in that car accident? It's a disruptive innovation. It's just a way that we've taken something like so many other businesses have done, and we've made it simpler, easier, and more affordable. And I'll give you a couple examples so you can understand what we do. First of all, you remember shopping at the mall. You remember going to, if you needed a product, you went to the stores and you looked for the price, the size, the color, the type. You hope to get the best price or a sale or some kind of reasonable thing. And you'd run all over town and often wouldn't even be able to get what you were looking for. But we don't do that today because we have Amazon. And most of us have Amazon Prime, a simple subscription service that allows us to touch a few buttons on our own phone and have the item we want delivered at the best price. We get reviews from other people that purchased it. We get to select the size, the color, the style, everything we want. And in most parts of the United States, in 48 hours, it arrives at your door, or 24, or sometimes the same day. Now, what did Amazon do to become $1 trillion company? They didn't invent shopping. They just made shopping simpler, easier, and more affordable. How about music? Same thing with Spotify. A simple subscription service on your own phone gives you access to every bit of music, every podcast, everything you'd ever want to hear. So you're not crisscrossing town buying an album just to hear one song. But that's what we used to do, right? Now, what about the access to the justice system question you see on your screen? Well, that's where we fit in, because what we do is we give people the access to their legal rights that they otherwise never could afford. And most people are shut out of the legal system because of the high hourly cost of attorneys. So let me just show you how this subscription service, how this mobile app that you'll have on your phone right next to Amazon, right next to Spotify, and so many other ways that you have convenience in your life. Think about it like this. Have you ever thought about writing or revising your will? Maybe you've had your information compromised in a cyber breach. You've been treated unfairly by a big box store or an insurance company that won't pay you a claim. Perhaps you've been a victim of identity theft. You've got a traffic ticket. You've had insurance claims denied. You're wondering about your credit score and how to make it more accurate. Maybe you bought a defective product or had one delivered to your home and you didn't know what your rights were. Maybe you've had your social media accounts taken from you. See, today, because of this incredible app called Legal Shield, and here's what it looks like on your phone, it allows people to have full access to their rights for their entire family. Now, some people are just saying, Jim, I don't break the law. I don't use attorneys. But let me ask you a question. If you could take the cost out of using attorneys, would you use them? In other words, have you not been using an attorney because you don't need one, or have you not been using an attorney because at $300, $400, $500 an hour as the average cost of attorney services, has that priced you out of the marketplace? And that's what this solution does in the market. Because imagine if you were my attorney and I came to you and I said, listen, instead of, and we'll just use simple math. Forget about $300 an hour. Let's say that you are an attorney, you normally charge $100 an hour. And I come to you and I say, listen, here's what I'd like to do. My proposal to you is this: instead of your $100 an hour hourly rate, I want you to quote me a monthly price, one simple flat rate. I want to stroke one check a month to you. And here's what I want you to do for me so that I have the peace of mind. I want you to give me advice on an unlimited number of issues. Whenever I have legal issues, and whenever I have questions and I'm not sure what to do or what my next step is, I don't want to Google it. I don't want to ask my cousin. I don't want to wonder if somebody has the right answer. I want to talk to a real attorney that's a real expert in the area of law that I have a question in. I want you to review every document before I sign it. I don't want to sign anything else or click agree on any screen until I know that this is in my best interest. Because the fact is, every document that's ever been put in front of me to sign was written by somebody else's attorney to protect them. And the reason that most people never have those documents reviewed by an attorney before they sign them is because of the cost. So I want you to take care of that for me too. I want you to review every document before I sign it. If I'm getting pushed around, I want you to write a letter or make a phone call for me, because I know that having my attorney write a letter from their law firm's letterhead and mail that to a company that's not doing the right thing is far more powerful than me waiting on hold and saying, let me speak to your supervisor. As a matter of fact, I'll just stop here in this example and I'll just tell you a quick story about how at 19 years old, because I got this membership when I was 19 years old, a man came in to where I worked. He wanted to show it to me and I signed up. And the first time I got to use it was not long after, because I was moving and my landlord told me that I was not getting my security deposit back, even though I didn't break a lease, even though I didn't do any damage. He just felt like that I didn't have any power or recourse. As a matter of fact, he said, Jim, you're never going to see that money. So I called my law firm. Because it said when I signed up that I could get legal advice, I called for some advice, but they went far and beyond that. First of all, they treated me with dignity and respect. At 19 years old, to have a law firm treat me with dignity and respect meant a lot to me. But they also said, we're going to take care of this for you. You don't have to do anything else. They overnighted a letter to that landlord that demanded that he release that security deposit. And the moment he got that FedEx envelope and opened it and read it, he called me at work and he said, Jim, come and get a check. I don't want any problems from your lawyers. Now that's powerful peace of mind. And the reason I got involved in this business, and I'm going to show you the opportunity to get involved here before I'm done talking, but the reason I got involved in this business was because for a decade of my life, I have felt that empowerment. I have had my rights protected by this membership. I just want you to imagine, what would it be like if nobody ever pushed you around again? Nobody ever pushed your spouse or your family and friends around again. Nobody ever pushed your children around again. We have members, 4.4 million members today, and we're talking about children that are getting their rights protected at school. We're talking about people that are getting their rights protected at their job. We're talking about people that are living their lives literally worry-free. Let me get back to my example. So you're my attorney, because I could talk about this membership forever. I want you to write my will. I want you to update it every year, because wills change and the laws change. And I need the peace of mind of having my will done. And I want you to do all of my estate planning, my will, my living will, my durable power of attorney, my healthcare proxy, my financial power of attorney. I want that peace of mind, and I want you to update it annually. Because every time I buy a house, sell a house, get married, get divorced, have a kid, have a grandkid, start a new job or retire, I need a new will. So I need you to update it every year. I want you to defend me in traffic court. If I get that ticket down the street from my house going to the grocery store, or I get it all the way across the country, I want you there in that traffic court standing up for me, because I know that having an attorney stand in traffic court usually gets you a far better outcome. And by the way, I don't want to have to take a day off from work and stand there myself. I want you to defend me in civil trials. I want you to defend me if the IRS comes calling. I want you to be there. Listen to this carefully. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I want you to sleep with your cell phone on. Because if myself or a member of my family has an emergency, if we're being questioned, arrested, detained, if one of my kids is the good kid in the wrong place at the wrong time, we can't afford to wait until your office opens the next morning. So I need you on call 24/7. Now, let me ask you this question, and you don't have to answer it, but I just want you to imagine, if you were my attorney, what would you have to charge me on a monthly basis to do all of that? And we've heard people give quotes of $1,000 a month, thousands of dollars a month, tens of thousands of dollars a month. An attorney at a meeting one time in Vermont once said to me, I would never quote you a price for that, Jim, because you could bankrupt my law firm. Well, what is Legal Shield? Investment is $29.95 a month, $1 a day. And that covers the entire family. That's you and your spouse, your children. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what kind of attorneys do we get for $1 a day? But remember, this is the combined buying power of a disruptive innovation. It's not just your dollar or my dollar. It's the combined dollars of 4.4 million and growing everyday members, which means that we have the best attorneys coast to coast and border to border in the United States and Canada, standing by, responsive and ready to help our members, including 24 hours a day for emergencies. And again, who can have this app on their phone? The member, their spouse, their never married dependent children under age 18 if the member is the legal guardian, and physically or mentally disabled children living at home. This is our flagship product that I was introduced to at 19 years old, that I used, and I couldn't believe it would just change the way I saw the world the first time I used this membership. And 10 years later, when I saw the opportunity to get started, I couldn't wait. And when I did get started, I was introduced to our other flagship product called ID Shield. And ID Shield does exactly what you think a product called ID Shield would do. It monitors what matters, because we know that our identifying information, the information, by the way, our credit score is not our identity. I just want to make sure that's clear to everybody here today. But your identity, your good name, is being traded in the open market, in the dark web. And so you need monitoring, and you need robust monitoring of all of the stuff that matters, like your credit score and your social security number, your driver's license. You need to know if your identifying information is in the dark web, and you need to know through reputation management if stuff that you or maybe members of your family are posting on social media could be a danger to your identity now and in the future. And ID Shield does all of that, but that's not what makes us special. Because quite frankly, you're getting advertised products constantly that claim they can do all of that. As a matter of fact, you're even getting advertised products that can claim that they can prevent identity theft. Well, it's just not true. And you're seeing that the crime is getting more sophisticated every day. So what you really need is a solution for when this lands at your front door. And ID Shield is the only product with a $1 million protection plan and comprehensive restoration. Here's what comprehensive restoration means. You're seeing it on the screen. Our licensed private investigators will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity, your good name, to the pre-theft status. That's powerful peace of mind. And you get that as an individual for $19.95 a month, and as a family for $34.95 a month. And again, the family is defined here as the member's spouse or domestic partner, and up to 10 dependent children under the age of 18. It also provides consultation and restoration services for dependent children 18 to 26. Now, I'm here to show you the opportunity. So I want to just take a step here and talk about something called Member Perks, because what I just showed you was two flagship products that make sense in the market and are priced within reach of almost every consumer. As a matter of fact, most Americans have no idea that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists until one of us presents it to them. And that's why you're here today. There's not enough of us sharing this good news. So when you have an opportunity to do something that's that big of a paradigm shift, to bring equal access to justice to people, to bring real restoration of your identity to people, but if you can create an environment where it's virtually no cost to the consumer, now you have to listen up, because this makes a no-brainer even better. So Member Perks, here's what this is. Our members get access to deep discounts from some of the biggest brands on planet Earth. And why? Well, because these brands, when you have a company like ours that has 4.4 million people and growing, those brands want access to that group of people. So the way they get access to us is through Member Perks, by giving us deep discounts. So for things you're probably already spending money on, you can realize discounts right now. That might be your travel, it might be technology like software and hardware you're buying. It could be your gym membership, it could be entertainment like going to an amusement park or the movies. It's clothes, it's everything. And Member Perks is actually fun. You get that in the app, and you can even see what all of your deep discounts are by being a member of Member Perks. In our family, we save more money with Member Perks on things we were buying anyway that offsets the total investment in our Legal Shield and ID Shield membership. Meaning that even if we didn't use our Legal Shield and ID Shield memberships, it would be a no-brainer that we would keep them just for the value that comes from Member Perks. So let me just show you the opportunity. Because if our membership makes sense to you, then it's time for me to show you how you can make dollars. And this is our compensation plan. Now, when I used to deliver furniture, I was never in charge of when I got a promotion, but in Legal Shield, the associate is always in charge of when they get promoted. And let's just say, for example, you're a new associate and you sign somebody up for the $64.90 plan, which is the Legal Shield and ID Shield for a family that I just showed you. As a brand new associate, you're earning $70. When somebody goes to your website and signs up to get these protections, to get these apps on their phone, you're getting $70. That represents a 1-year advance commission. And by the way, we get paid every day 7 days a week. Whenever you have a commissionable event in your business, you get paid. Not on the first Friday, not on the first Wednesday, not on the first full moon, every day. And that creates cash flow for you in your new business. Also, you're funded on day one because the company is going to provide a 1-year advance commission, which means you don't need to write a business plan and go to the bank and hope that they would give you money, or go to venture capitalists and give up part of your business. You can get started fully funded in this business. And that's just where it starts, because you protect a few families, you get promoted to senior associate. Now you're earning $90 when somebody signs up for a 6490 plan. And by the way, if you do that little bit of activity to move from associate to senior associate in your first 20 days or less, you get a $100 bonus. Now, I just want to say something to you. A $100 cash bonus is not going to change your zip code. It's not going to change your cars. It's not going to change a lot of things. But I'm going to teach you here as we go forward. I'm going to help mentor you, and so many others are. And we have one very, very clear thing that we always lean on, which is this: how you do anything is how you do everything. Right now in 2023, we have a bonus program that pays out $100,000 over the course of the year. And the people that are serious about picking up a $100 bonus are the same people that get serious about the $100,000 bonus. So we want you to take every one of these opportunities that are presented to you, because the opportunities just get bigger and bigger. Let me just share another concept with you. Let's talk about executive director, because this is where it gets interesting. You qualify for the executive director on a monthly basis, and now you're earning $370 when somebody comes to your website and signs up for the plans. Maybe you sit down, have a cup of coffee with them, you show them a video, or you go over a flip book presentation. But however they sign up, the company is going to deposit $370 into your bank account. That represents the first year's commissions. Now, let's just say you do that 5 times a month. That's a great part-time spare time income, right? That's $1,850 a month. But if you were to do that same thing on a weekly basis, just protecting 5 families with these services, now that's $96,200 a year. It's almost $100,000 a year, nearly a 6-figure income, just protecting 5 families a week as an executive director. And just like an insurance broker or a real estate broker, you can build a team and you can create leverage for yourself. So let's say I'm a new associate on your team and I make a sale. You're my executive director. You earn $300 as a broker's override on that sale that I made. I get my $70 commission. I'm happy and excited. I've started my new business and you're earning $300 on that sale. Now, if I do that 5 times a month, you're earning over $1,000 in overrides. What if you had 5 of me? What if you had 10 of me? Now I think hopefully you can see why so many people are winning in this business. And I don't want to run out of time, so I'm just going to talk about one other thing, and I'm going to share with you a few of the people that are winning in this business. We love to have fun. We've got these products that are serious, and they do serious work in the marketplace for individuals and families, for business owners, for the employees of those business owners. What we do matters, and it's important, and it's noble work. And we also like to have fun while we do it. And we have a program called Performance Club. It's just one of our many incentive programs that allows you to earn up to a $500 a month cash bonus just for protecting a few families a month. And it also allows you to qualify to go on trips all over the world. And just in the last handful of years, my family's been to Cancun, we've been to Jamaica, we just got back from Hawaii last year. We've been all over the place. And we would love for you to also walk the beaches of the world with us. And I'm going to do a little training after I conclude this presentation. And I'm going to share you a few more pictures of some of the trips that me and my family have taken. And hopefully you will see the potential of joining us on those trips as well. But let me step out of the way, because I would love to hear from some of our other associates that are going to share their story. And I'll start by going to South Carolina to Miss Venus Powers. Venus, take it away.
Actually, I'm in West Virginia, but we'll go with that. Good evening, everybody. I come from a background of, helping start companies in the technology space. And then I worked in lead generation for a while with technology companies as well. But, when you're in startup companies, those companies are bought and sold. And sometimes decisions are made for your financial future that you don't have any control over. And I had a situation where I had, I was a part of a company layoff about 9 or 10 days before $10,000 in stock options vested. And that was a really hard pill to swallow. And, I moved down the line to the work from home position for the lead generation company, and they started making decisions for me too. And I didn't like it so well. So I found Legal Shield through a quick video that many of you guys have seen. And I learned that I could be in control of my own money-making decisions. And I learned that I could be a part of a team that would support me and help me grow and be a part of my life. That was amazing. And so Legal Shield is the opportunity for me. Thanks, Jim.
Venus, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Now let's go to Colorado. We're going to go out to Colorado Springs to Sonora Danzler. Sonora?
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Jim, for giving me the opportunity to share, and we'll do it very quickly. So I came from the corporate America world, working 70, 80 hours a week. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, and maybe some of you are still relating to that. But I was missing everything that was important to me. So family, kids, husband, faith, fitness, my finances, all of that. And then I saw this opportunity and I said, hey, you know what? I could definitely do this in my spare time, and it'll definitely fit, in my busy schedule. So fast forward to today, I currently work this business part-time. I follow the amazing system that we have. I stay plugged in. I love the community that we have. I currently work with small business owners, their employees, families, and also I'm building a team coast to coast. So I'm really excited for everything that's happening for me right now. And the most important thing to me is that I get to make a difference in all the lives that I touch. And it's just so rewarding and just so exciting. And I can't wait to get out there and touch more. Back to you, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you, Sonora, very much. And now to Ohio, to Mr. John Fehrenbach. John?
Hey, good evening, everybody. My past is pretty varied. I've done everything from windshield installation to selling direct mail, keeping your mailboxes interesting. And most recently, I was involved in the steel business and was involved in a COVID layoff. When I discovered Legal Shield, I had several boxes that I was looking to check. I was looking for something that had some kind of recurring value, similar to subscription services. I knew that this would create residual income based on my production efforts today, tomorrow, next week, and carry on into future months and even into future years. I was looking for a product or service that I knew that everybody needed and that everybody could wrap their arms around why they needed it. And finally, the business had to be simple and duplicatable. I want to help other people be successful as well. Legal Shield hits all those boxes and the results have been amazing. I'm building a business, I'm building a team as one of the top recruiters, and I'm watching my income grow exponentially. Jim, thank you.
John, thank you very much. And thanks to all of you. And so as we're wrapping up here, let me just share with you a few thoughts. We started with this, right? 5 areas to evaluate. You got to have a company. Well, we've got a company that was born from a need, not from greed. 51 years ago, Harlan Stonecipher's vision was born, and it continues to grow exponentially today. Is there a need in the marketplace? Do people feel like they're not heard, that they don't have advocacy, that they don't have access to their rights because of the high hourly cost of attorneys? Absolutely. Has cybercrime ever been bigger? It's bigger now than it's ever been, and it keeps growing, which means that our identifying information is constantly out there and constantly at the mercy of people that are really not ever being punished for the crime. So do we have a product that answers those needs in the marketplace? Absolutely. Not only do we have the products that create this environment where people can live life worry-free, but through the magic of a mobile app, we now make it even easier for people to access the services than they ever have before. Is the compensation powerful? 1 year advance commission, you own your book of business, which means that you earn residual income on the lifetime of every member. And the timing. Well, the timing could never have been better than it is right now. As a matter of fact, right now with 4.4 million customers and a vision to take this to move the decimal point to 50 million customers, which we do, by the way, by interacting with individuals and business owners. You heard me say that earlier. Business owners love our business plans. We can protect their employees on the job site by doing a presentation for all their employees in a group environment. And they can even have the convenience of payroll deduction when they sign up through their employer group. And we help people in this vast different amount of ways, but the way we help them is to get Legal Shield and ID Shield into their lives to protect their lives and their families. You can start this business part-time. You can work through the magic of our technology from anywhere. The book of business that you're creating with that ongoing residual income is willable to your estate, and the residuals pay out for the lifetime of every member. We have fast start training classes, which I'm going to touch on in a moment, ongoing weekly training, and personal mentorship. And right now, you can get started in this business for only $49. Now, I know that some of you are hearing that and that like raises your skepticism. You're like, well, how, if it's all of this, how is it not $49,000 or $4,900 even, or even $490? And you're right, because $49 is actually below the administrative cost of getting you set up in the system. But we are aggressively growing our associate base, which means that the timing couldn't be better for you. So the company is going to set up your direct deposit, turn on your websites, make your incredible mobile app suite available and working right away for you to start earning income now. And again, for only $49 is a one-time registration fee. Now, here's the steps to get started. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to do a break here. We're going to do a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a great getting started training. So what you want to do right now is get back to the person that invited you to this presentation to be here with us live. They're going to text you. If they're not sitting next to you, they're going to text you the link to their website so that you can, number one, as you see on the screen, get these services for yourself. And also, number two, become an associate. As a matter of fact, if you click the button on their website that says Business Builder, you can just bundle all of that together in one transaction. This will take you about 3 minutes, which is why we're only doing a 5-minute break. And then, of course, come back here. I'm going to leave this Zoom open. I'm going to play some music. Everything's going to stay where it is. You come back and then join us for a getting started training. I've been here in this business now 19 plus years. I'm going to show you in just a handful of minutes, we're going to be done by the top of the hour, exactly how to launch your business the right way, so that whether you're doing this part-time, spare time, or this is your new career, that you can have success right away and get your first deposits. We call that a belief check. Get that deposit in your bank account right away. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, get back to the person that invited you, and we're going to get you signed up so that you can come back here for the getting started training. We'll see you in 5 minutes.